my name is Chris. My channel is called The Body Wish, your gateway to holistic remedies, wellness tips, and improved mindset. Welcome to my series, Wellementary, where I connect with experts in fitness, nutrition, along with my recommendations to help you live a healthy and abundant life. What's up, YouTube? Hope you're doing well. Oop, got some echo on there. My name is Chris. My channel is called The Body Wish. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I am officially the man with the yellow hat. I have stolen my wife's visor cap. I'm not sure she's aware of that. Anyway, I work in the health and wellness industry, and I help people to maintain and achieve optimal well-being. I do this in part by recommending certain foods that are going to set them up for success, help them to avoid the ones that are going to trip them up for failure, and also help people improve their mindset. These two facets make up us. Good nutrition, a higher sense of self-confidence, and a loss of words all contributes to some happy days in front of you. All right, so I'll be talking about a problem that is affecting more than half of the population, and that is the ongoing struggle with excessive weight gain and all the difficulties and frustrations that go with that. It seems like it should be an easier problem to solve, but it's not so, and I'm going to delve into why that's happening. I am always somebody who likes to share clinical research versus me give you my opinion of how things work or don't work. The studies that I'll be sharing with you are conducted by some of the top experts in their fields, and in this case, we're going to be talking about weight gain. So I want to talk to you about food cravings, since that's where all of this begins. I'll delve into why they are so obsessive and persistent. Of course, no presentation on dieting, since that's the name of my program. What if you never had to diet again? No presentation would be complete if I didn't talk about, guess what? Calorie deficit. Yeah, our old friend. And of course, it's not all doom and gloom. I will share a holistic nutritional system that is backed by 7 clinical studies. So stay tuned. I got some really great information to share, and I hope you find it very enlightening. I was about to do a sound of a gong. Gong. All right, so first let's talk about, let's not talk about calorie deficit yet. Let's talk about food cravings. Now, there's different schools of thought as to what drives these cravings. Some people come at it from the perspective of psychology, meaning they analyze the relationship that the person has with food. I believe that has a lot of validity to it. What's up, bro? How's it going, Bang? There is definitely validity in terms of the way the person sees food and the way they respond to it. I come at it more from the perspective of nutrition, since food cravings at their core are the body's way of saying it needs nourishment. But see, that's where we've gone so far off the rails. Hello. Because our food industry is so dysfunctional, there's an abundance of nutritionally bankrupt foods in your local supermarket. You don't have to go far for that. And these foods are not satiating. They're not nourishing the body. So a lot of people, unfortunately, think there's something wrong with them if they're struggling with on their weight loss journey. And it's not. The foods are low in fiber, they're low in protein, and they just heap on the processed sugar because it makes it taste good. I mean, I like sugar. I'll be the first one to admit it, but I don't want to marry it. So that's why a lot of people are feeling unsatiated. So we need to get back to our roots and start eating foods that are higher in fiber, higher in protein. You know, por ejemplo, how does a nice romaine salad with some hard-boiled eggs on it, some sliced almonds, some olive oil, coconut aminos. If you're not familiar with coconut aminos, you can get them at a supermarket like Trader Joe's. It's very inexpensive. It looks like soy sauce, but it actually has this wonderful sweet flavor to it. Not overpowering. It just adds a nice little zing to your salad. You can replace the hard-boiled eggs with shrimp. You can replace it with tuna fish. You can get creative. There's a lot of things available online. So, anyway, if you're one of these people, or you know somebody who's been kind of driven crazy by these obsessive food cravings, crazy cravings, yeah, that works. I'll go with that. Maybe you're at a point now where you're putting on a lot of weight, and now you want to get your weight back under control. Now, it seems like it should be an easy code to crack, But here's the difficulty with it, okay? Most people, if not everybody, is reaching for some method of calorie deficit. So now I want to segue into what calorie counting is and is not, because there's a lot of misinformation about this. Okay, there's a little bit of irony with calorie deficit, and then I'm going to share some science. All right, I just changed my mind. I'm going to share the science first. Take a look at this. I got some sirens outside. You probably can't hear it. Here's a study I encourage people to take a look at. This is called Stop Counting Calories. It was put out by Harvard Medical School. And it was conducted by one of the top experts on obesity in the United States. And what she said is not only is calorie counting not effective, she says it's flat out wrong. So, all right, now I'm going to share the irony with you. Ready for this? Put your seatbelt on. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is. Your body does not count calories. The only reason why people count calories is, ready for this? Somebody told you to. There's not one medical study out there that says a calorie deficit works long term. So here's what's happening, okay? As I said, your body doesn't know what the calorie is, all right? What your body responds to is nutrition. That's all your body understands. And it's the quality of the nutrition that you give it plays a direct role in how well it can rebuild itself or not. So if you're eating healthier foods, okay, the body does what it was intended to. See, the body is the miracle. We just got to learn to give it the things that it needs so it can repair itself. Get rid of the old cells, rebuild with new cells, stronger immune system, and also key for people who are trying to lose weight, you need to get healthy to have a vibrant metabolism. I'm going about this all wrong. Most people think, I need to lose weight to get healthy. It's the other way around. You need to get healthy so that you can lose weight, because when your metabolism is slow, guess what? You're not going to burn fat efficiently. And see, that's what calorie deficit does. When you put yourself into calorie deficit, okay, you're dialing back the amount of food you're eating. Now, you might be like, what is this guy talking about? Of course, if I overeat, I want to cut back on the amount of food. There's a little bit more to this. What happens is when you're in a deficit, your body now starts looking for other sources of energy, and the two places it turns to is fat, but it also burns muscle. It doesn't differentiate. It doesn't just target fat, leave the muscle alone. It burns off both. And this is the primary reason why a lot of people will have success in the beginning. Anybody can lose weight when you go into a calorie deficit. You can lose weight on a Ben & Jerry's diet. You can lose weight on a Domino's pizza diet. Calorie deficit will cause most people to lose weight in the beginning, but once the brain senses there's not enough fuel, because that's what food is, it's fuel for the body. Once there's not enough fuel to do a lot of the basics like think, walk, breathe, sleep, it starts to burn off fat and muscle. And it's when you lose muscle, that's when the metabolism slows down. And as a result of that, it becomes harder and harder to burn fat. And for a lot of people, it becomes impossible. Now, when I say these things on this platform, TikTok, Instagram, some of these influencers come back and say, you don't know what you're talking about. Calorie deficit is simple math. Yeah, I get it. It's simple math, but it doesn't work for most people for the reasons I just stated. None of this is my opinion. And I will even tell these influencers, go look up the Harvard Medical Study. It was just done a few years ago. Stop counting calories. Do you think people look it up? No, they want to parrot this tired narrative that isn't working for people. Now, how else do I know it's not working? Because the numbers are going up. There are over 100 diets out there. And then a couple of years ago, we had these pharmaceutical drugs to suppress the appetite. Well, guess what appetite suppression is? It's code word for calorie deficit. You're right back into calorie deficit again. This idea of cutting back on fuel for the body, it doesn't work for most people. Most of these people are going to put the weight back on again. So, yeah, I think I hit home already with calorie deficit and its limitations. So the main thing I want to say is if you or somebody you know has been struggling with and doing calorie deficit and you're getting frustrated, it's not your fault. I'm not saying this to pamper you or coddle you. This is the limitation of calorie deficit. All right, so if calorie deficit isn't all it's cracked up to be, what other options are there? Well, I got a couple of minutes left on my presentation, and I want to share a holistic system that in its concept was the formulators who created this concept. They wanted to figure out a way to dial back the amount of food, but unlike calorie deficit, not cut back on nutrition. That's what makes it very different. So the system was clinically tested. It actually was tested against the gold standard of diets in America, which is the Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean diet is actually not a bad diet at all, but because it operates on calorie deficit, you're back to square one again. And those who participated in the studies, I'm going to share some info on these studies in a minute. Those who participated and were on the Mediterranean, every single one of the participants put the weight back on over the course of a year. This is the outcome of every method of calorie deficit, okay? Not my opinion. This is what the science shows. All right, enough of my rambling. Let me show you this system I'm so eager to spread the word on. All right, so this is called a 30-day reset. And it's a very different approach and a much more sustainable approach to not only burning fat in the beginning and keeping it off, but keeping it off for the long haul. And it's the latter that so many people are getting tripped up with, keeping it off for good. So what this system does is it addresses 3 culprits that contribute to excessive weight gain and poor health in general. And that is nutritional deficiency, toxicity in the body, and stress. These products that you're looking at, these are the 3 core products that make up this 30-day system. The big one with the red text on it, those are superfoods. Very easy to make, just like you would make your favorite smoothie. The other 2 little guys in the upper left, those are adaptogens. Adaptogens help us to recover from stress. And the other products in the far left there, those are what we would take on a day of intermittent fasting. Let me show you just some of the science behind this, because this was pretty impressive. Again, this was tested against the Mediterranean diet, 7 different studies, University of Chicago, University of Pittsburgh, Arizona State, Skidmore College, and upstate New York. These studies have been published in medical journals. So, in a test against the Mediterranean diet, those who are on the 30-day, after 8 weeks, the 30-day reset people lost 56% more weight. They lost twice as much visceral fat. That's the belly fat. That's the hardest fat to burn off. That also happens to be the fat that stores toxins, which we're all exposed to, unfortunately. And when the body can't eliminate them, they're stored in these fat cells. So they lost twice as much of this visceral fat, and also saw a release of these dangerous chemicals that are in our environment. Also, 41% drop in cravings. So I talked at the beginning of the presentation, food cravings are what drive people to eat all the time because they're not feeling satiated. This system helped to quiet the food noise down. 25% improvement in gut health. And then one of my favorite stats is the fact that those who did the 30-day, they got more lean muscle. They didn't burn off lean muscle, 6 to 9% in just the first 8 weeks. And that's the first of 7 studies. Now I'll show you how easy this is to implement. No counting calories, none of that mumbo jumbo. The first of 3 core products are these superfoods. So you mix them up like a smoothie, okay? Really easy. Less than $5 per serving. That's cheaper than a Starbucks. It's great for people with busy schedules. And I'll just rattle off some of the benefits. You get all 90 key nutrients, so that makes it a meal replacement. It's got 8 grams of fiber. They're low glycemic, so it's not going to spike your sugar level. 36 grams of whey protein. It comes in plant or I just said whey protein. Yeah, it's getting late. These are gluten-free. There's no artificial junk chemicals in anything. There's no processed sugar. It's all natural, wholesome ingredients to help the body do what it was intended to, which is to rebuild itself efficiently. It's got the essential vitamins and minerals. There's no soy in anything, and they come in a variety of delicious flavors. And when I have one of these, I'm good for like 3.5 hours. I'm not even thinking about food, so I do feel very satiated. Now, what you don't get, sorry to be the bearer of good news, there's no microbial activity, there's no heavy metals, there's no fungicides, herbicides, pesticides, dioxins, PCBs, or forever chemicals. This company does a really wonderful job of scanning for a lot of these impurities and contaminants. I wish the rest of the food industry would follow suit, because then I probably wouldn't even be here going off about how good this system is. But, you know, that's the state of the food industry. It's all about profits. All right, so you're going to replace 2 of your 3 meals with these nutritionally dense superfoods. for the first 6 days. Let's say Monday through Saturday, just to keep it even Steven. Then on Sunday, doesn't have to be, but the 7th day, we're going to do a day of intermittent nutritional fasting. This is where you take this product that has 16 botanicals that help the liver get rid of these awful contaminants I was talking about a minute ago. You do get to take a couple of snacks throughout the day, so you're not completely depriving the body. And what happens on this day of intermittent fasting, which is fascinating, is it removes these dangerous toxins, and then the fat cells shrink in size, so you get the added benefit of weight loss in one fell swoop without losing lean muscle. And then the third core product helps to manage your stress, and this comes in the form of adaptogens. And this is something you would take every single day for the entire 30-day duration. So see what I mean? It's easy. There's no mental gymnastics, none of this, can I turn on the hairdryer or the toaster? The calorie deficit, I got to be honest with you, I get tired when I see people with their apps. Oh, I don't know if I can have this or not. No wonder people throw in the towel. It's not a natural way to eat. I've yet to see a bear in the woods. Well, I've never seen a bear in the woods, but I've never seen a bear in the woods in a documentary that's trying to decide, can I have the Cornish hen or the salmon tonight? It's not a natural way to eat. It slows down your metabolism. See, that's the thing about calorie deficit. People are reaching to diets or they're reaching for these pharmaceutical drugs because in their mind they think it's a solution. But unknowingly to so many of these folks is the fact that it creates a whole other problem for them. And you will hear when you are on, whether it's this channel or TikTok, Instagram, when you hear people talking about calorie deficit, fitness trainers, even medical people, they will at one point or another in the presentation, they'll say, to offset the loss of lean muscle. And suddenly I hear brakes screeching. Wait a minute. I thought this was a solution. Oh, don't read the fine print. You see what I'm saying? I'm being sarcastic, but the point of the matter is it's supposed to be a solution, not a solution that needs another solution. But the 30-day system that I showed, that just works. It doesn't need a helper solution in the process because the whole thinking behind it is different. It's about giving the body what it needs, giving it the nutrients that it's missing. Unfortunately, a lot of the store-bought foods don't have the nutrients in the abundance we need. This is why people put on weight. This is why people have brain fog. This is why people have increased rates of depression and poor sleep habits. We're not nourishing our body. This system addresses that. It addresses the nutrient deficiency. It addresses the buildup of contaminants that unfortunately we're all exposed to. The environment has gotten steadily more contaminated over the decades. I wish it wasn't, but we've got a lot of knuckleheads, I guess for lack of a better term, running the show. But it's all right. We've got options too. So one of the things I like when I share this system with people is I don't have to pull out my pom-poms and say, this is such a great system because I say so. We've got studies published in the top medical journals. This 30-day system has been published in the Obesity Journal. The Obesity Journal is published by the Obesity Society. It's a worldwide effort to get obesity under control. It's also been published in Frontiers Nutrition. It's been published in the Nutrients Journal, the Nutrition Journal. So this is the real deal. None of this is my opinion. I'm not here to, enlighten you with the sound of my voice. I love sharing the science with people because science doesn't have feelings. It doesn't change its mind from one day to the next. If I take this pen here and I release it, we know it's going to happen. It's going to hit the ground every time. It's not going to suddenly change its mind and start going around in orbit in my room here. Not to say that wouldn't be really cool to watch. That's not how science works. So if you or somebody is struggling with excessive weight gain, brain fog, constantly feeling tired, fatigue, poor sleep habits, it might be time for a 30-day reset. I like to think of the reset like a tune-up for a car, because that's exactly what it does. And I tried this myself over 4 years ago. I didn't have weight issues at the time, but I used to get walloped with constant fatigue. I had a period of my life over 25 years. In fact, the last 5 years of that 25-year period, I had to stop exercising. I was in my mid-50s, and I had to stop. I sold my rowing machine. I sold my kettlebell. I sold my surfboards. I couldn't do any more exercise because I was getting clobbered the next day with exhaustion. And I tried all these different modalities. I tried Western medicine. I worked with a naturopath. I hired a dietitian at one point. I hired a nutritionist. I had the benefit of living with a chef for 10 years. I know how to cook. I know how to eat the healthy stuff. None of that made a dent in it. Zero, zip, nada. So, and my blood work always came back normal. I got tested for food allergies. I got tested for heavy metals. I got tested for Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, thyroid disorder. You know, I worked with a doctor who was a fatigue specialist. He couldn't crack the code. So my friend told me about this a couple of years ago, had good things to say about it. You know, clean ingredients, clinical studies, kumbaya. I thought, what the heck? I'll take it for a test spin. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And a week into it, after I loaded up on the superfoods twice a day, and I did that day of intermittent fasting, the next day, 5 years of brain fog cleared up. I had to pinch myself. I'm like, is this me? I felt more rested. I felt less stressed. Everything was improving. So if I learned anything, I learned that really high quality nutrition can make the difference. So I went through the whole 30-day. Everything was feeling good again. It was like I was like my old self again. So I started working back into an exercise routine. I didn't get any backlash like I had prior to trying this out. So here I am 4 years later. I want to share this with people because I want people to not struggle. And, you know, I know what it's like. I went for so long running in circles and getting nowhere, wearing my shoes out in the process. So if you or somebody you know needs some help with their weight loss journey or just their wellness journey, I'd love to have a conversation with them. In fact, I'm going to go a step further. Let me show you a website. You can even take a screenshot of this. It's called thebodywish.wordpress.com. This is the homepage. This is what it looks like on the phone. Go up to the products menu and click on nutritional system. It's got a lot of good information on there, much of which I've just shared with you. There's also a 3-minute video that gives you a nice summary of how the system works. You know, sometimes in life we don't know what we don't know unless we take that extra step and we do some investigation on our own. That's how I discovered this. So on that note, if there's any questions, be happy to answer them because I'm going to drop off in a couple of minutes because I need dinner. Speaking of food cravings, I haven't had anything to eat in like 6 hours. Starting to catch up. So other than that, everything's good in the hood. And I will be back again tomorrow. I want to try and do these every evening, and I'm going to try and schedule them in advance. Nobody likes to drop in unannounced. Huh? Do you have an invitation? No, I didn't think so. All right, it's been an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Vang, let's do it again soon. Hope you have a good it's Thursday already. Hope you have a good upcoming weekend. Ciao for now.